Hey guys, it's Friday. It's really late because me and JT are lazy, especially me. So today, I'm just gonna get down to it. I'm gonna read you some stuff. This is a paper I wrote really quickly because he was like, okay, rough draft due tomorrow, and then the final will be due the next day. But what I didn't hear was, I will give you an extra day. So you get 2 days to write the rough draft. So I went home, and I thought it was due the next day, and I wrote this really quick. So it's not going to be, filled with facts or anything, but it's sort of a research paper, but there's actually absolutely no research. But it's got a good message. It's called "Are We All Free?" In Illinois, as well as most of the United States, it is illegal for same-sex couples to get married. Many states allow them to enter into civil unions, but that doesn't give you all the same rights as a real marriage. People may argue that they are the same thing. If that's true, then why are they referred to as different things? In some places, civil unions are not allowed to adopt children, obviously a right that separates the two. In almost 4 times as many states where gay marriage is legal, it is legal for first cousins to marry. How can that be when it is very likely for children to be born with deformities or mutations? I mean, not that there's anything wrong. If you get a kid who has a physical or mental problem, that's still your kid, and you should love them all the same. But my point is that nobody, actually plans to have a kid like that, or does anything to, make that actually possible. You want that to happen, like marrying your first cousin and having a kid with them. It's more likely. Anyway, is this because they can actually have children? Probably shouldn't stop there. For about 18 years, homosexuals could not serve openly in the military, but on September 20th, 2011, the "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" policy allowing only closeted homosexuals to serve was repealed. Even though it doesn't affect them, some people strongly disagree with this decision. Rick Perry says that something is wrong with this country when gays can serve openly in the military, but his children can't pray in school. It is because of ignorance like this that gays are discriminated against. People who listen to the Bible more than anything else will remain the minority, but there are enough of them that politicians will try to satisfy them as well as the rest of us. America needs people like President Barack Obama, Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta, and Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Admiral Mike Mullen to lead us into a better, freer, and more equal tomorrow. Homosexuality is not a choice. We were born that way, and that's a fact. How can the higher-ups in our country ignore that? Regular people can rely on their own faith more than scientifically proven truths. But how can I be happy in a country where our leaders don't make decisions based on logic and reasoning? If gay people don't get every right because of one missing gene, then why should I? The Declaration of Independence gives every American the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Doesn't it? Seeing as how it was supposed to be a research paper, he says that I don't have any proof. I should never show a study. And I'm just making blanket statements without support, which is true, and I do that actually quite often in my day-to-day life. So yeah, I really hope that after editing this video, it's not going to be too long, because I told my friend that I would read the first chapter of the novel I'm currently working on. So I'm absolutely going to do that, and hopefully this video was short enough so then it won't be too long after I'm done reading, So, I started writing this novel a few days ago, and it's sort of based on one of my friends, because we were texting and talking about stuff, and it just kind of it sparked an idea, and I told her about it, and she was like, "Okay, you got to do this." It's called Stephanel, and this is chapter 1. All I saw was darkness until the apparent blindfold was removed from my head. We all stepped out of Mark's van onto the sidewalk. They'd kidnapped me and brought me to some strange house, a tiny shack of a place, probably owned by some rich kid still deciding which college to tell his parents he'll be attending. We walked up the path and were greeted by some 19-year-old with a popped collar. He welcomed us in, and I followed Sarah down the front hall to a door. Stairs led us down to his basement, where there were 3 other people sitting. I sat down next to Alan, who I was surprised to find there. "What are you doing here?" I whispered to him. "Sarah invited me. I didn't know you'd be here," he said, blushing. "Great, another crappy basement party. Why are we here?" "Wait," he shouted. "Sarah, you didn't tell her?" I glared over at her. "Tell me what?" I asked. She ignored me, turned around, and grabbed an empty glass bottle. How could she do this to me? She knows I've never kissed anybody before. Now she just wants to throw me in the deep end? Everybody gathered round in a circle. There was 8 of us total, and I sat between Sarah and Alan. She put the bottle in the center of the circle and spun it. It landed on the girl across from me. Everyone screamed, "Ooh," as I sat there frowning. They both giggled and leaned in to kiss. That's what I finally realized, why Sarah had always been complaining about guys and why she'd dated so few of them. It was the other girl's turn now. She spun it, and it pointed at the host, whose name I'd found out was Chip. Figures. They leaned in right away and kissed for a lot longer than a kiss should last. Finally, someone peeled them apart as to keep the game going. Eventually, it was Alan's turn, and I could see how nervous he was in his eyes. He begrudgingly reached over and grabbed the bottle. It spun for what seemed like 5 minutes, and then landed slightly on Sarah, who pulled me in front of it. They all oohed again, because even though I only knew half of them, they all somehow knew that Alan and I had been friends forever. We were both blushing, but he shrugged, closed his eyes, and leaned in. I pursed my lips and paused to contemplate the future of our friendship, but Sarah shoved me into him, and even though I may have concussed him, we kissed, oddly passionately, for a while. So that's actually all of chapter 1. And that doesn't necessarily make it, a short book. Not all the chapters will, be a page and a half. Just that one, and I don't want to actually tell you the reason. I don't want to give it away. You'd have to, read on to actually understand, why that was so short. And Becca, you will read, past that, so and if anybody out there that's not Becca wants to keep reading it, let me know, and when I get a lot more done, then I can send it to you to read and give me feedback and stuff, and see if you like it. So if you like that, then you should definitely let me know, and maybe I'll keep reading you guys the chapters as I write them. If you want, I could do that. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm sorry that this video was probably really long, and if today is your birthday, 1/20/2012, the year doesn't actually matter, so you all know what year it is. Happy birthday to you. You doing a great job at living. And yeah, JT, I'll see you on Monday.